Do you love the look of granny squares, but really don't like to weave in the ends? I've made several different projects using granny squares, but I feel like I've not wasted, let's not say that. I've used a lot of hours with weaving in ends. Today, I am going to be talking about the Red Heart all-in-one granny square yarn, the pros and cons, and I'm also going to leave you with a couple tips. Hey friends, I'm Diana and I am a crochet and craft cheerleader. Welcome to my channel. We are going to be talking about this Yarn Inspiration all-in-one granny square yarn. Now I have to be honest, I don't tend to jump on bandwagons and I don't tend to do trendy things like everyone else. I tend to sit back and take time until projects and things speak to me. So I finally had time to pick out this yarn and I wanted to test it and see, for myself if this actually worked. One cool thing about this granny square yarn is that you don't necessarily have to use it just for granny squares. Now today I am going to be talking about what I took away from using this yarn. Also, I'm going to point you in the right direction to learn how to use this yarn to create different granny squares. They're not just the basic granny square. Now, if you want to learn how to do one of those basic granny squares, I do have a video on my channel that I will link in the description of this video below. I also will be talking about tension in this video. And if you don't know or are not aware of what tension is or how you can better your tension, I also have a video about that and I will share it in the description below. On the Yarn Inspirations website, they have a claim, let's say, that it will be 67% fewer ends to weave in to finish your next granny square project. Who doesn't want to do that? They also claim that this is a beginner-friendly yarn. This yarn has been designed to change colors in 5. So meaning you get 5 different colors and you don't have to weave in the ends. There are 3 different colorways of this yarn. There's soft white, black, and Aran. And Aran is kind of like a cream. Colorway is simply the color around the edge of your granny square. As I looked at their website, they have 33 different color choices. I bought mine locally and on Amazon because that's where I could find it the cheapest. If you can get a sale on Yarn Inspirations, they have those every once in a while. You can get that there as well. So the yarn choices are Aran Cream, Aran Lily Pad, Aran Soft Sky, Aran Warm Wheat, Black Totally Teal, Black Amber Moss, Black Blue Beacon, Black Cyber Leaf, Black Espresso, Black Grape, Black Hyperviolet, Black Neon Lights, Black Pop Culture, Black Red Party, Black Ruby Red, Black Scarlet Sand, Black Silver Sea, Black Verdant Vine, Black Carnation Code, Black Dove, Black Moody Cherry, Soft White Buttercup Blush, Soft White Peachy Keen, Soft White Rainbow Sherbet, Soft White Spring Serene, Soft White Watermelon. This is the one of the ones that I really liked and that I purchased myself. Soft White Hot Stuff. I really liked the colors in this one. Soft White Pink Punch. I purchased this one. Soft White Amethyst. Soft White Citrus Twist. This is another one that I really liked. Soft White Frigid. Soft White Green Scream. And Soft White Shadow. Granny Square yarn is a medium weight number 4 yarn, and there is also some description on how to care for it. If you are not sure how to care for your yarn, I have a video about that as well, and I will put it in the description what all these little symbols mean. Yarn also takes a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. with your crocheted square, it says it should measure 6 inches by 6 inches. And on the package, it also says that you can get 14 squares out of one skein of yarn. That is pretty great. This yarn is an acrylic yarn, and it is an 8-ounce yarn, skein of yarn. That I do want to say about this yarn that was a surprise to me is how good it felt in my hands. I don't tend to gravitate to Red Heart yarn because it's a little rougher on my hands, and I will be honest, I'm a bit of a yarn snob. So I was pleasantly surprised that this yarn is soft on my hands and soft to work with. One thing that you need to know about this yarn is there is a bit of a learning curve, so you can't just pick up this yarn and use it. You need to make sure that you pull from the center. When you begin, instructions that come with the yarn, there's also a video that you can watch. They do suggest that you measure a 4-inch tail to start your project. Adjusting how tight you crochet, which is your tension, and also a yarn hook may be a good thing to consider. I suggest that you start out with the crochet hook that they suggest, a 5.5mm hook, and then if it isn't quite working for you, adjust your tension or go to a different size crochet hook. Side of the wrapper of the yarn, it gives instructions and it tells you how to care for the yarn. It also gives you instructions on how to make that vest right there. Also, it has a little key on, let's see if it'll focus here. It might not focus. There we go. It actually gives you a visual and instructions on how to make a granny square. And so if you don't know how, if you don't know how to read a picture pattern, it also has the written instructions on how to make a granny square. I'm going to get started making one and see how I do. To start with a 5.5mm hook for crocheting with this yarn because that's what they suggested in the pattern. And I started off with my 4-inch tail like they suggested, and everything was going good until I got to the first color change, and I had probably another, 4 or 5 inches on the other side of the color, so it wasn't ready to do the color change yet. So I decided to try a couple other times. So for me, I decided that I needed to crochet with less tension or less tight and giving myself space, and that seemed to work for me. Round 2, I crocheted a little bit looser so that I was using more yarn, and I had to do it a couple times to get the dimensions of the yarn right. But then as I worked to round 3, I could loosen my tension a little bit. Like I said, it is like, trial and error trying to figure out what your tension's gonna be. And then with round 4, I definitely had to work a little bit tighter with my stitch. I do have to say, as I was working and I went to do the slip stitch, I went ahead and where my slip stitch end and the next color was, I just chained up from there and worked the chain 3 up, and then I just flipped my granny square and did my double crochets from there. So the last round I did, I crocheted pretty tight. I had to pull this out a couple times, but once I got that tighter tension, I pulled it all the way out and I went and crocheted again and I did a little bit tighter stitch. That's when it worked out really well, and I had a good tail of the white left over so it could pull through. But it wasn't very much, but just enough that I could weave the end in when I was all done. Let's break this down and talk about the things that I love about this yarn. It's super soft and durable, perfect stitch definition, Great for beginners and pros alike with a little bit of practice. Definitely speeds up the granny square process. And I absolutely love the color combinations. The array of different things that you can make with this yarn is so awesome. It's awesome. I love that somebody was so creative. It's like magic. On the Yarn Inspirations website, there are 52 different patterns to use this yarn. I really like that the fanny pack, I wear fanny packs every day. That was drawing my attention, and it happens to be in the citrus twist style yarn that I really spoke to me. One of the things I really liked too is that the colors, when you take pictures, the colors are actually more vibrant in person, and so it really speaks to me, like summertime and yarn. And you don't always have to use it for a granny square. You could just use it like a regular yarn and let the striping take its course. I know there are several different people that have used this yarn and created beautiful items. There is an account on Instagram. So her account is called Manic Changeling. That's kind of hard to say. And she gives you a demonstration on 8 different versions of granny squares that she made with this yarn. And I will go ahead and link that in the comments below. Go check her account out and subscribe if you are on Instagram. It's pretty amazing. She has different versions like the regular granny square, triangle, hexagon, flower, sunburst square. So she's very talented. So is the Red Heart all-in-one granny square yarn worth it? I would say absolutely yes. Give it a go. Give it a try. Whether you're a beginner trying to start learning how to crochet or a pro that wants to speed up their granny squares, I think that this yarn is awesome. If you want to grab your own, it is available on yarnspirations.com. I purchased some from Amazon.com, so you can find sets there as well. So if you like today's video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and liking and subscribing, and also hitting that notification bell lets you know when I release new items on my YouTube channel. Happy crocheting! And sunburst yarn is a crochet a granny square. Oh yeah. So I wanted to share with you that